Every journey begins with a step. And in your relationship with Allah, that first step is more powerful than you can imagine. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. And you certainly don't need to wait until you feel ready. You just need to take that one step sincerely. It could be a simple dua whispered in the darkness. It could be the decision to pray after missing many. It could be leaving behind something harmful for the sake of Allah. And once you take that first step toward Him, Allah takes many steps toward you. The beauty of our faith is that Allah doesn't expect perfection. He expects effort. When you show Him that you want to come back, He welcomes you with mercy, forgiveness, and opportunities you never expected. Allah's mercy is greater than any sin, mistake, or failure. It doesn't matter how far you've drifted or how long you've been distant. When you decide to return, the doors are wide open. He doesn't shame you, mock you, or reject you. He welcomes you as if you never left. That's the love of Allah. That's the power of His mercy. And it all begins with a single sincere step from you. What often holds people back is the fear that they're not good enough to return. They feel guilty, unworthy, or ashamed. But that's the whisper of Shaitan, trying to keep hearts away from the one who heals them. Don't wait until you're perfect to turn to Allah. Turn to Him now with your flaws, your fears, your weaknesses, and let Him perfect you through His guidance. There is no shame in being broken when you bring those broken pieces to the one who can restore you. If you feel lost, overwhelmed, or burdened, know that these feelings can be the beginning of your return. Sometimes Allah allows your heart to feel emptiness so that you search for what truly fills it. Sometimes He removes your comfort so you no longer forget Him. And when you begin to walk back toward Him, even if slowly, even if with difficulty, He opens the way. You'll find peace in prayer, clarity in the Quran, comfort in remembrance, and strength in His presence. What once felt unbearable becomes manageable. What once confused you begins to make sense. That is what happens when the soul reconnects with its Creator. One of the promises Allah gives in the Quran is that whoever comes to Him, O King, He comes to them running. This is not to be taken literally, but spiritually. It means that the mercy, guidance, and support of Allah are multiplied for the one who makes the effort. Even if your step is small, even if you fall and try again, He sees every attempt. He records every tear, every prayer, every struggle, and He responds with more than you expect. That's the kind of relationship Allah wants with you. One that's real, consistent, and built on love and trust, not fear or formality. Sometimes we think of faith as an end goal, something we'll achieve someday. But faith is built in the journey. It's built in those quiet moments of choice. Choosing to remember Allah when you could forget. Choosing to be honest when you could lie. Choosing to pray when you feel lazy. Choosing to forgive when you're angry. Each of these moments is a step, and each step builds your connection with the most merciful. Don't underestimate the impact of a sincere intention. Say, today I will start. Today I will remember Allah more. Today I will take one step toward Him. And trust that your effort will never go to waste. He sees you trying. He knows your heart. And He will make a way for you. Your life can change forever with one decision, one moment of sincerity, one return to Allah. Take that step and everything will begin to change. One of the greatest struggles we face as human beings is accepting what we do not understand. When life doesn't go the way we planned, when our prayers feel unanswered, or when we see doors closing all around us, it's easy to feel confused and disheartened. In those moments, our minds rush to questions. Why is this happening to me? Why didn't Allah give me what I asked for? Why does it feel like everything is falling apart? But hidden within those questions is an opportunity to choose faith over fear, trust over doubt. Because the reality is, Allah's plan is always better than our own, even when we don't understand it in the moment. His wisdom is beyond our perception. His knowledge encompasses what we cannot see, and His mercy is always at work, even when we feel delayed, denied, or broken. Sometimes Allah withholds something you desperately want, not because you don't deserve it, but because He knows it's not good for you. At least not right now, or maybe not ever. What you see as a setback is often a setup for something greater. What you perceive as a closed door may actually be divine protection from something harmful. You may feel like you're falling apart, but in truth, Allah is redirecting you, rebuilding you, and preparing you for something far better than what you had planned for yourself. The believer learns to trust in that process, to let go of the need to understand everything and instead hold on to the certainty that Allah never makes mistakes. There is an ayah in the Quran. It brings immense comfort. Perhaps you hate something while it is good for you. And perhaps you love something while it is bad for you. And Allah knows, while you know not. This verse is not just a reminder. It's a life-changing perspective. It teaches us that our knowledge is limited, biased, and emotional, while Allah's knowledge is complete, objective, and full of mercy. You may cry over something that didn't work out, only to look back years later and thank Allah for not giving you what you once thought was everything. You may beg for a relationship, a job, a goal, or a dream, thinking it will bring you peace, only to discover later that Allah replaced it with something far more fulfilling. Trusting Allah's plan means surrendering your heart to His timeline. It means understanding that delays are not denials, and silence is not neglect. It means believing that when things seem to be falling apart, they may actually be falling into place in ways you can't see. Allah is never late, never absent, and never unaware. He knows the right moment for everything. And even your struggles are not wasted. They are shaping your character, deepening your faith, and preparing you for the next stage of your journey. It's also important to remember that what you consider success may not be what Allah considers success. In this world, people define success by wealth, popularity, beauty, or achievements. But Allah defines success by sincerity, patience, gratitude, and obedience. So when you don't get what you want, ask yourself, is this a chance for me to grow spiritually? Is this a test of my patience or my trust? Is Allah guiding me away from the superficial and towards something eternal? Letting go of your own limited vision and submitting to the plan of the most wise is one of the most liberating things you can do. It removes the pressure to control everything and replaces it with peace. Peace in knowing that you are in the hands of the one who created you, who loves you, and who wants better for you than you could ever want for yourself. And that trust is what will carry you through every uncertainty in life. There is a unique kind of power found in sincere dua, a quiet, often tearful plea that rises from the depths of the heart, directed toward the one who holds all solutions. In moments of complete helplessness, when the world offers no relief, when even your own thoughts become too heavy to bear, turning to Allah in dua is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of the deepest strength. It means you've understood that no matter how capable you think you are, no matter how much you plan or how much support you receive from others, true power lies in the hands of Allah alone. When you raise your hands and say, Ya Allah, you are admitting your limitations and recognizing His limitless power. That realization changes everything. It shifts your focus from what's outside your control to the only one who is always in control. So many people today struggle silently with anxiety, depression, heartbreak, and confusion. They try everything: self-help books, motivational speeches, therapy, even distraction through entertainment, but the soul remains unsettled. Why? Because they're looking for healing in all the wrong places. The heart was created by Allah, and only He can heal it. The soul was made to connect with its Creator, and when that connection is broken or ignored, emptiness takes over. You can feed your body, entertain your mind, and still feel a void deep within you. That void can only be filled by turning back to Allah sincerely, consistently, and wholeheartedly. When you call upon Allah, you are not just speaking into the air. You are calling on the one who knows you better than you know yourself. He knows your pain even when you can't describe it. He understands your silence better than anyone understands your words. And the beauty of dua is that it doesn't require fancy language. It doesn't require a perfect setting or a loud voice. Even if all you can say is, Ya Allah, pet me, that is enough. Sometimes a single sincere dua can open doors that years of effort could not. Sometimes one tear in sujood can heal wounds that no medicine can reach. Allah responds to hearts, not just words. Or what's more incredible is that Allah loves when His servants call on Him. Unlike people who may get tired of your repeated complaints or requests, Allah is never annoyed by your constant turning to Him. In fact, the more you ask, the more He loves it. Every time you raise your hands, He is listening. Every time you cry to Him in the dark of night, He is there. And even when you don't get the answer you were hoping for, He still responds in the way that's best for you, even if you don't see it yet. Sometimes Allah delays a response because He loves hearing your voice in dua. Sometimes He gives you something better than what you asked for. And sometimes He holds back a blessing in this life to give it to you in full in the hereafter, where the reward is eternal. But in every case, He hears, He responds and He rewards. You are never ignored. You are never forgotten. That's why we should never underestimate the power of turning to Allah, especially in private moments. Make it a habit to speak to Him before you speak to anyone else. Consult Him in every decision. Cry to Him before you cry to anyone else. And trust that even when everything feels uncertain, His plan for you is unfolding with precision. Nothing is random in the life of a believer. Every joy, every trial, every delay is tailored by the one who knows what your heart needs more than you do. So hold on to your dua. It is the rope between you and your Lord. Never let it go. Every hardship you face in life is not meant to destroy you. It's meant to build you. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, does not allow pain without purpose. While the world may see difficulties as setbacks, in the eyes of the believer, they are divine opportunities for growth, purification, and closeness to the Creator. The pain you endure, the tears you shed in silence, the nights you spend tossing in emotional turmoil, none of it goes unnoticed. Allah is fully aware of your struggles, and He never burdens a soul beyond what it can bear. So when you're going through something that feels unbearable, know that you are stronger than you think, and that your Lord sees a strength in you that you may not see in yourself yet. Trials are a sign that Allah is refining you, not punishing you. There's a misconception many people have, that if life is difficult, it must mean Allah is angry with them. But if that were true, then why were the most beloved people to Allah, the prophets, also the ones who faced the greatest tests? Prophet Ayub was tested with illness and loss for years. Prophet Yusuf was betrayed by his brothers and imprisoned despite his innocence. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, faced rejection, mockery, and personal loss. And yet, these trials elevated them. They didn't walk away from Allah, they ran to Him. And through that connection, they found peace even in suffering. Their pain became a source of strength because it reminded them of the only one who never fails. The same concept applies to your life. When hardship knocks on your door, it is not the time to turn away from your faith. It is the time to turn deeper into it. When you are faced with loss, heartbreak, betrayal, financial stress, or mental fatigue, your first response should be to reconnect with your Creator. Even if you don't have the words, even if all you can do is cry in sujood, even if your voice shakes, Allah hears you. He understands the language of your tears. And in that moment of vulnerability, when you expose your pain to Him, something powerful happens. Your soul begins to heal. Not because the problem disappeared, but because you are no longer carrying it alone. Hardships are also reminders of our humanity. We are not in control. We are not self-sufficient. We are not immune to pain. And that realization brings us back to humility, to gratitude, and to trust. When everything is going well, we often become distracted, even arrogant. But when life humbles us, when we are stripped of what we thought we needed, we remember what truly matters. We remember that this world is temporary, that nothing we have is guaranteed, that we are simply travelers passing through. And in that remembrance we find strength, because a believer doesn't just endure hardship, they are transformed by it. There's beauty in pain when it brings you closer to Allah. Every hardship is a chance to increase your faith, to prove your patience, and to purify your intentions. Every tear you shed is recorded. Every moment you stay silent instead of complaining is rewarded. Every time you say Alhamdulillah, despite your difficulty, you rise in ranks. Allah sees it all, and He is not unjust. He will replace every loss with something better, either in this world or the next. So embrace your trials with the heart of a believer and don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is Allah trying to teach me? Don't say, I can't do this. Say, with Allah, I will get through this. Let your hardship be the bridge that leads you to the strongest version of yourself, rooted in patience, gratitude, and complete trust in the one who never lets go. Life teaches us through experience that people, no matter how sincere, have limitations. They can promise to be there, but circumstances change. They can love you today and walk away tomorrow. They can support you for a time, but even the strongest shoulders can't carry your burdens forever. The truth is, relying completely on people will eventually leave you disappointed. And yet, we often tie our happiness, security, and peace to other human beings. We assume that if certain people remain in our lives, everything will be okay. But what happens when they leave? What happens when their priorities change? What happens when the same people you trusted stop showing up? This is where a deep realization must take place. Only Allah can help you at every step of life, because only He is constant, all-powerful, and all-aware. Allah never changes. His mercy doesn't run out. His love is not dependent on your behavior. Even when you sin, He still provides. Even when you forget Him, He still protects you. And even when you think you're far from Him, He's closer than ever. That's the kind of support the soul is searching for, something unshakable, something dependable, something eternal. The pain you feel when people let you down is a sign that your heart is attached to creation rather than the Creator. Allah doesn't want you to hate others or isolate yourself, but He does want your ultimate reliance to be on Him alone. He is Al-Wakil, the best disposer of affairs. He is Al-Wali, the protecting friend. He is Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. When you truly internalize this, you begin to see the world differently. You stop begging people to understand you. You stop expecting others to carry your emotional weight. You realize that the one who created your heart is the only one who can truly heal it. Sometimes Allah allows us to experience disappointment through people, so we stop placing them in a position only He deserves. He removes the illusion of control from our hands and reminds us that everything in life is temporary: friendships, relationships, wealth, health, and even time. And through this loss or betrayal, He gently redirects us back to Him. You may think it's a punishment, but it's actually a form of divine mercy. When a person walks away and you feel like a part of you is missing, that emptiness is an invitation from Allah to fill that space with His remembrance. It's in those lonely moments that your heart is most vulnerable and most open to the truth. And the truth is, no one can love you like Allah, no one can carry you like Allah, and no one can remain with you the way Allah does. This doesn't mean you shouldn't love people or seek companionship, but it does mean your foundation shouldn't be built on human beings. Build your emotional home in the remembrance of Allah. Anchor your heart in His promises, not people's words. Seek validation from Him, not from likes or praise. When you do this, you won't be broken when people disappoint you, because your soul is rooted in something deeper. You will still feel sadness, but not devastation. You will still miss people, but you won't feel hopeless. And when you are supported by others, you'll appreciate it without becoming dependent on it. Allah wants your heart to be free from fear, insecurity, and anxiety. And the only way to reach that freedom is by tying your reliance to Him. He knows what you need before you ask. He knows the danger ahead before you see it. He knows the strength inside you before you believe it. And at every step of your life, He is there, not watching from a distance, but actively guiding, protecting, and helping. People may forget you. They may not notice your pain. They may not know what you're going through. But Allah does, and He is enough. When we reflect on our lives and think deeply about the moments that shaped us, both in joy and in pain, there's one undeniable truth that emerges. Allah has always been there. Before we even knew how to ask, before we even understood the concept of need, before we learned to call upon Him, His mercy surrounded us. As a newborn, completely helpless and unaware, we had no voice to say what we needed, no strength to get it ourselves, and no knowledge to even recognize the difference between right and wrong. Yet somehow we were provided for. We were fed, cleaned, carried, and protected. That was not because the world owed us anything. It was because the one who created us had already written His mercy into every step of our journey. Allah planted love in the hearts of those who cared for us, whether they were our parents, guardians, or strangers. He didn't wait for us to earn His love. It was already there, already flowing into our lives. This is the essence of divine care. Even before your tongue could form the word Allah, He was looking after you. And that same Allah has not abandoned you now. As we grow, life becomes more complicated. We become aware of struggles, disappointments, and fears. We begin to feel the pain of being misunderstood, the heaviness of failure, and the sharpness of loss. In these moments, many people start to question, where is Allah now? Has He left me? Why is this happening to me? But the truth is, just because we face hardship doesn't mean we've been forgotten. In fact, it often means that Allah is drawing us closer. He is allowing these moments not to break us, but to show us how much we need Him. Because sometimes we get distracted. We place our trust in people, money, reputation, or even our own abilities. And when those things fail us, and they will, Allah reminds us of the one truth we've forgotten. Only He can truly help us at every step of life. Look back at your own journey. Think about the times when you thought you wouldn't make it. When the weight of your pain seemed too much to bear. You're still here. You survived what you once thought was unbearable. That's not because of luck or coincidence. That's because Allah helped you, even if you didn't recognize it at the time. His help often comes in hidden ways. A kind word from someone, an unexpected opportunity, a moment of strength just when you needed it most. And sometimes His help is in the delay, in the unanswered dua, in the closed doors, because He's protecting you from what you don't yet understand. Many people live their entire lives searching for someone who will always be there for them. Someone who will understand without judgment, love without condition, and help without hesitation. But human beings are not capable of this kind of perfection. We get tired, distracted, selfish, or simply unable to help. That's why Allah reminds us again and again in the Quran that He is the protector, the helper, the one who responds. He is never too busy, never too far, and never unwilling. When you rely on Him, you're relying on the one who knows every detail of your life, every thought in your mind, and every emotion in your heart. He knows the things you've never told anyone, and the dreams you buried deep. He knows your fears, your doubts, and your silent struggle. And still, He remains close. He remains patient. He waits for you to turn back to Him, not because He needs you, but because you need Him. So from the very first breath to this very moment, Allah's help has been constant. You didn't earn it. You didn't have to beg for it. It was there because His love is beyond our understanding. That is why at every step of your life from birth until death, the only one who will never let you down, never forget you, and never abandon you